All right, guys, we are live. This is the Red Eye Live Q&A with some of the cast and the director. Today we have, can you guys introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Jessica Cameron.
Hey guys, I'm Clayton Abbott.
Hello, I'm Scott King.
Destinie Orndoff. I went last because I didn't want to step on somebody.
And then I'm Tristan Clay. So I don't know how usually this goes. We have 2 viewers, so that's good. If you guys, I have the group chat pulled up here. So if you guys want to start asking us questions, I guess we'll start just talking. I mean, I hope everybody liked the teaser trailer that came out this week. If you guys want to just start, I have a fun question. What was your favorite memory on set? Whoever wants to go first.
Alrighty, sure. What the fuck? I'll go. We're all waiting for the other person because nobody wants to step on anyone's toes. But then it's just like dead air.
Yes.
My favorite moment. It's tricky. I was only on set for a day, but it was a super fun day, which I think is, my favorite kind of days. But it was when I kind of improv'd a bunch of stuff the first time, and Destinie was just so into the story that she forgot her line, and and nobody else knew what to say because everyone was just paying attention to what I was saying because I was improving, and everyone's like, we don't know what she's doing, but we're into it. But there was this great moment where as an actor you're doing something right when everyone could be like, oh shit, damn it.
Yep.
So that was a great moment for me, and I thought it was super funny and super cute, and also good for the character because again, you want the other in theory, if they're listening to somebody, they should genuinely be listening, and as a director, that's something that sometimes actors get so focused on what is my line that they're not paying attention, and that to me reads as fake. So you can always cut, as you'll see, and you're going to do it in post, you can always cut to the actor giving that cued response from a different angle, so in the edit you're not going to tell that she was that there was where she broke character and said I don't know my line and we gave it to her. It's just gonna work, you know what I mean? It's just gonna look great because she was so paying attention, which is exactly what her character would do. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna nominate Clayton to go next.
Scott, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. Probably when we were getting all the car scenes, the part where we had to keep turning around because we were filming on the one road, so we had to keep turning around, and as we were going over our lines and everything, Hayden almost took us off the road, and we about ended in the trees. That was probably my favorite part because we couldn't be serious after that for the longest.
So I'll go ahead and go. By far, my favorite part was getting to set, driving the car up the mountain of sorts, and just cramming 8 or 9 people into the SUV. And this road the train was not easy, we could say. So we're just bumping all over the place, elbowing each other, and we had to make that trip several times a night. So depending on the driver, depended on how smooth that ride went, but more times than not, it was not very smooth. So that was probably my favorite part, was just the more behind the scenes stuff that people don't even think about.
Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine's kind of not a specific moment, but I think it's just getting everybody together and creating something that you work so hard on, and just seeing it come to life. Pretty surreal and amazing. But if I had to choose a specific thing, it's the blood because I love getting bloody. That's fun.
I should have went first because now it sounds like I'm copying you. But honestly, as filmmakers, and you create this script, and seeing everyone come together, I think it was when we were doing the read through of the script the night before we started filming, I could have cried because it was everybody was here. We put this together, all the hard work, everything. and then seeing it all unfold, and then the next day seeing everyone in their costumes and everything just all unfolding. It was just a dream come true, literally. It sounds so cheesy, but that was literally my favorite part.
Yeah.
And of course, all the intense scenes. That was pretty fun. We have a live chat going on, so if you guys want to ask us any questions, just drop down, comment, I think is where everything is. Isaac says, I'm so excited for this. Shay says she's pumped. And Shay also asks, what inspired you to make the film? For actors, how did you get into the character?
Do you want to answer the inspired one?
Well, why don't you? I always say it.
I don't know. Like, I met Tristan, 2000 what? 14? 15 at a convention. Met him through Instagram, and we became friends. And I sent him the short story I did for creative writing in high school, and we pretty much built off top of that and created Red Eye. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. And yeah, we both love, you know, the horror genre, and we both wanted to like either be in film, like kind of like me, or like create it, you know, like I guess, yeah, same for me too. But so we pretty much just did it, and yeah, made a nervous talk.
All right, and for the actors, how did you get into the character?
Jess, do you want to go? We'll just go in the same order.
First.
Okay, sure. Well, I feel like I knew the character because I've met people who are very similar to her. So I kind of just relied on my past history. You know, I lived for 5 years in the Midwest, and she's very much like this Midwest character. So I really kind of just drew upon my past history. As an actor, I typically create a character profile with like details and specifics to their life that is where I ground the choices I make for the character in. So I just utilize my history more than anything.
All right, Scott, you next.
All right. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but you know, it was kind of easy at the beginning because, you know, Gage is just a big horror buff. So that part was easy because I'm already a horror fanatic. So it was easy to just pick up a camera and document this legend. But then, you know, as you know, the film takes its turn, it was kind of just finding the dark place and just kind of going with that. Because I can't give too much away about my character.
Well,
So-
nobody can give too much away from.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Top secret.
So for me, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it helps that I'm taller than basically everyone in the cast and stuff like that, but still becoming an image more than an actual like, voice character. It was actually a lot more challenging than I expected it to be. Even with my experience doing it just on film, it's completely different because when you're in person doing it, it's a lot easier. You know, it's 4D. You can be right there in their face, touching them, stuff like that. But on film, you have to create this giant image, this menacing image that, quite frankly, no one wants to ever see. So that was fun for me. And Tristan and Destiny both let me take some liberties in creating the character, which was awesome. And so yeah, it was fun becoming the image of Red Eye and just developing that. And I feel like the day that I personally wrapped, I was like, well, damn, I'm here. I want to just keep doing this.
Well, for me to get into my character, it's pretty much just me, so I was just myself. But for the more intense stuff, I know I was actually talking to Heather in the car one day when we were getting ready, and she says like how she gets into like the more like cryy, like more intense things. She kind of like pulls stuff from her life and like brings up that emotion. And I guess I can kind of agree with her for that. Like when you're supposed to be like crying and just like crazy and just like pretty much breaking down, I guess I can pretty much agree with like pulling from past experiences and just bringing that up to the surface.
Yeah. But I do have to say it was I remember it's so fresh in my, I mean, it happened just a couple months ago, but like when Clayton dressed up as Red Eye, he, like, nobody's seen him before. You know, none of you guys, like the audience viewers watching it, have seen his mask, which is planned, obviously. But so this was like just shock to everyone, and just seeing that, you know, like it's almost like creating, I'm not going to hold myself up to like Michael Myers and stuff, but just creating a villain. We started with nothing and made this terrifying thing, and just unveiling it to everybody was just so much fun, just because to see their reactions. And I weren't you down there? You were down there, and I walked down with him, and just everybody was just like, it was just so good. I had to throw that out there.
That was really funny too, because we were coming downhill, and it had like rained the night before or something, and so it was muddy and like really slippery. So I'm trying to like walk down this hill looking like a badass. In the back of my mind, I'm like, dear Jesus, don't bust my ass.
Yeah. I have a question for myself. What was the biggest challenge so far? The fan funding, production, editing. I don't know. I mean, crowdfunding was a challenge just because it was my first time. Wasn't sure what to expect. I think we both kind of were like in the middle of it. We were like, goodness, this is what we have to do to make this film. And I think that was one of the biggest challenges we've had. I personally think so. Just because, I mean, you just got to grab the attention of everyone. And but production was pretty fun. The only thing was just sticking with my vision. That was, keeping that vision true, and the story true, and the script true. And the editing, we're not too deep into the editing, so I don't know about that yet. But we did get a assembly.
Well, we have the teaser edited, so you can.
Well, yeah, that was fun. I think it's more like fun seeing it happen. I guess it's not. I don't know. But we also got a question for the actors. Is doing a horror film easier than doing other genres like romance, comedy, or action?
I actually think it's significantly harder, only because to make the impossible seem real and believable is more of a challenge for me anyways, because you don't really have as much to draw from. Destinie spoke a little bit about memory sense recognition, where you pull from your memories to like trigger an emotional response. But we also do that in terms of how do people respond in a scene. So we all have an idea as far as like, how would you respond if somebody was trying to hurt you or do harm to you, or if a zombie was running after you, or if there was a serial killer. But very few of us have personal experiences would be thinking, doing, emoting, how your brain would react. So I think you really have to kind of, for me, search like the darkest crevices of your brain and really like spend time thinking about like, what would you do? How would you react? How would you as a person, and specifically as this character, react in an unbelievable or likely situation? So for me, it's a lot harder because like we all know what a breakup at a coffee shop looks like. We've either been in one, we've seen one, whatever. So when I get a drama script and like my character's breaking up the boy at the coffee shop, okay, I know what that is. I've been there. I've seen it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what it's like, to be in this situation with Red Eye. I've never been there before. So it's more of a challenge, but I think that's also personally for me what I love about the horror genre, and why I'm so excited that I act mostly in genre pictures, because it's just more fun, it's more entertaining, it's a greater acting challenge, and I think too, when you can hit it hard on the head and do it right, it's a greater achievement for me, because again, to make the unbelievable or impossible seem believable, I think is the greatest form of success in our industry.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I agree.
But this was Scott's first film, so do you have anything like input on that? Like how it was to act in a horror film?
Yeah, well, it was quite an experience, because, it was very emotional, I would say, because you have to be angry, you have to be frightened, you have to be mean. So it was all kinds of, you know, you'd come on set and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna be evil today. So, okay. Or you're gonna be angry. You have to tackle this person. So it was really like physical. I would, you know, really physical, not like mentally, but physically too, because we all had to take our own beatings on set. So
yeah.
Yeah, it was thrilling.
Yeah, I would agree with Scott on that. You know, most of my experience again has been in live theater, and when I first, because this is my first feature film, so when I was talking to a lot of my friends about it, they were like, "Oh, well, you know, that shouldn't be too hard because if you mess something up, like you can just do another take." And when that is true, it's also a lot more difficult because from theater, you know, the closest person is 15 feet away from you, where in film, a camera can be as close as you want it to be. And so, you know, I said a lot, even when I had the mask on, if you were to take it off and like, I'm still emoting and just like my facial expressions, and because you have to in this genre, like, you have to like go big, and kind of like Jessica said, in a drama, it's just like more conversational. And that's why I think horror and comedy actually are two of the more difficult genres, because comedy is all about just timing, and some people have it, but it's also a thing that's very hard to learn. And horror, like Jessica said, is very, very, you know, some stuff like zombies or aliens, there is no real experience from that. And so you're creating something and trying to put it into someone's mind, and to do that is very difficult.
I mean, this was your second genre film, so.
Well, I agree with like what everybody's saying. Yeah. You know, I really don't have much more to add to it. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know how many romance movies you would like throw your body onto the ground or stay on your knees for 6 hours, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could never see myself doing a comedy film. I don't know. Like a horror comedy, yes, but without blood, there's no interest. Let's see. We got a bunch of questions. When will the movie be out? The movie will be out mid 2017 is what we're aiming for, but you know, once we get further into post-production, we'll be able to.
And let's aiming for film festivals,
yes,
right? Like general release. Always clarify, because I've made that mistake before. People are like, "But you said it'd be out." I was like, "Well, I meant available for the viewing public, not for general release."
Correct. So once we get, you know, into post-production, we'll be able to, you know, and see what festivals we can get our film into. That's our main goal. Thank you for clearing that up for me, Jess. Will the actors be able to come to the red carpet premiere? So wherever the festival premiere is, will you guys be there?
Yes.
Hopefully, depending on.
Yeah, if I can definitely make it. Yeah.
Let's see.
It always depends on scheduling timing. I mean, I've had here in London Fright Fest, and I love Fright Fest, and I love London, but I can't always financially swing that trip, so it just
absolutely, that's understandable. We got asked, Tiffany asked, what's a fun story from on set? Since we did our favorite, why don't we do like, is there one that we, without spoilers, of course, like the funniest, the funnest, you know, what was?
I'm going to say one that's not a spoiler, but it's also not technically from set. It's from after set, when Dorf got drunk and then we went to Walmart, and then she was like, I'm going to go into the ball pit. I don't know what it is, this girl, and like her need to like jump headfirst into a ball pit. But she's been saying it for like months, and I always kind of like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that. Never actually thinking it would like happen, you know? But I have noticed like she has this like uncanny natural desire to do it. And so sure enough, that night she was like, I'm going to do it. I was like, okay, sure you are. You know, like pat her on the head. Sure you are. Yep. Sure you are. We're like just filming, dicking around, having fun on bikes and stuff. And she sees a ball pit. And she's like, I'm doing it. And I was like, hold on. I don't think it looks. And she's already gone. And we have the cameras out. And like at one point, Destiny and I are like running towards it because it starts literally to tip over. And I'm like, oh, good God, we might have killed one of the actors. In our Scream episode that we did the behind the scenes. But it was hilarious because I didn't see it coming. And I don't think either Tristan or Des saw it coming either. but it was pretty fucking epic.
She's doing it.
Scott, do you have a fun memory?
Well, I mean, it was all fun. I mean, it's hard to really pick.
I would say something, but we're on air, so we'll do that off air. But wink.
Huh?
He'll get it. Oh, I said I was gonna say something, but we're on air, and I don't want to say it on air. But I said wink because you'll know.
I don't. When we all went to B-Dubs, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was like the first night. Yeah, first night.
Yeah, because like that was like really us getting to know each other to play these, friends on this trip. So that was really fun to kind of get to know everyone.
So I was laughing because I originally had something else in mind, but then when Scott started talking, it reminded me there was a part, I don't remember exactly what we were doing, but I was more or less standing over Scott, and he stands up, and his elbow comes right up in between my legs.
Yeah.
And I just collapsed. And I remember Tristan coming up to me, he's like, "You okay?" And I think you were actually recording it, and I didn't even know.
Of course I was.
And I just took that mask off, and I was like, "Ah!"
He was on the ground for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good.
I was taking some anger out on Clayton's pecker because I had to hit the tree like 15 times. So I apologize.
It's all good.
You have one?
I don't know, like whenever stuff gets really intense and you're supposed to be serious and then somebody just says something funny. It's
Kaylee most of the time. The script supervisor was freaking hilarious. So Kaylee, if you're watching, hey, we miss you.
No, when she fell, remember? I looked up at her feet and like,
I just heard it.
Wipes out.
it was so funny. Oh my god.
I do remember.
That was funny.
You should never drive after a late night shoot because two things happen. This night is not fun, but it's funny now. I was backing into the parking spot outside my house and ripped my rear view mirror off because I was so tired. And then when we came home one night after shooting, Heather, for some reason, had her foot under the tire. So when I let off the brake, when I put the car in park, the tire ran over her toe. And she's like, "Tristan, you are my foot." Like, she was like, "Get the fuck off." I felt so bad, but just thinking about it, I was just like, I ran over Dora's foot. But that is what.
But then at some point, you put under the tire.
But that's funny now, but it wasn't funny at the moment. But
Armed in the making.
yeah, we'll have to put that in the end credits. Someone asked, did any of the actors look at like? I don't know. I don't either, so I won't ask it. Did you guys encounter anything scary or supernatural while filming in the woods?
Bugs.
Spider.
Destiny.
I was just thinking about that. That big spider that was above my head whenever I was tied up. And you're like, oh, I'm going to show you that now after. There's
No.
this huge tarantula. Yeah, it was. It was like as big as my face.
I didn't tell you because if I told you, you would want off the tree.
I was like tied to this tree and I couldn't move. So I wanted it tight because I wanted to like really pull on it. And then he showed me after the old spider like right above my head.
It wasn't.
It was like this big.
We had our eye on it. We were watching it.
But-
If it was coming close to you, I would have told you.
oh my god, that's mean.
Out of sight, out of
You say
mind.
that quickly.
Advice for actors or acting and actors. I personally cannot do big roles. I'm very shy on stage. How can I break the mold and be a good actor? That was from Shay.
As far as I think, breaking the mold is just. Oh, is she talking?
Oh, no, something going on.
This is awkward.
Do you want to go, Jess?
Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
Sure. Oh, I was just saying, I think it just comes to practice. I think everybody is by nature shy, and I think it's always a different experience on a film set. I always advise actors to try to hit their 100 audition mark as soon as possible. I think there's a very noticeable difference when you hit that 100 audition mark with how an actor carries themselves in the room. You just it's your home. And I think that translates to actual jobs and being on set and everything. So like the more experience you have doing it, the more comfortable you're going to be, the more often you're around people that you just met or are new to meet, and you're all working to make art, the more comfortable you're going to be at it. And it literally just, honestly, it's a numbers thing in a lot of cases where it's just up until you hit like that 100th mark, you're just a little bit nervous, a little bit shy, a little bit whatever. So it's fighting through that and just doing more.
Yeah, I was just going to say experience. The more you do it, the more confident you're going to get. And really, if it's something that you're passionate about and you want to do, you should be confident in yourself. If you want to go far with it, then just be confident. But just building experience, taking risk and chances that you're not sure about, just do it. And like Jessica, go audition. The worst they can say is no. And the best that's happened is you've learned from it and you can move on. Every audition's a little bit different, and that's part of the fun. So if you go in confident, just ready for anything, then you'll be fine.
All right. Did any actors physically prepare for film before? Training, special skills, anything like that?
No.
Did you?
No.
No.
All that out of breath running was me because I'm out of shape.
What's the most difficult things to do on a set, you think? That was, I don't know, KX and Punk. But like, what's the most difficult thing that you guys did on set? Spoiler free once again, because
I have one. It's not spoiler, I promise. It's like, for me, I'm not like a morning person, so having to wake up at like 6 a.m. and then being awake all the way until the sun goes down, or waking up when the sun goes down and having to be up all the way until the sun comes up because the day shoots and then the night shoots. That was probably the hardest for me because I was so tired. And then when you're super tired, then you're trying to like act really good and like remember everything and kind of like, I guess that was probably the most difficult thing for me.
What about you guys?
Well, for me, it's a very physical role. So sometimes when we would have multiple takes of the physical scenes, naturally that's just going to take a toll, tossing people around and stuff like that. It's easy to do it once, but then when you start doing it over 20 times, it's, it starts to become taxing. But I would say that was the most difficult.
Mm.
I mean, I'm so used to this because I do like 15 films a year sometimes. So it was like another day at the office with awesome people. So.
Scott?
Yeah, I agree. The more physical stuff was, like I said earlier, having to run in a tree 15 times to get every angle, it does become draining. And then I think too, at the same time, it kind of like, I don't know, it just drains you. And I think it helps your character because you can see like him, like, so when you're watching the movie, you can be like, wow, yeah, he looks pretty beat up.
The heat too is hard when it's like 2,000 degrees outside and there's no shade, and we had like a 9-page scene to do in one take. That was pretty.
Like when Tristan and Robert gave me complete full bags to carry for 5 or 6 hours.
You did. And Spot's so tiny, so it wasn't really bad.
I did not pack those bags. So
whoever packed them really wanted to fuck me.
Hey, we got you back out there. Drunk Dorf again. Is there any time she's not? Maybe that's why she's not here. I don't know. Maybe she's being Drunk Dorf.
No, for the record, she's only not drunk that often. It's just every time she is, I like to film it for the world because it's hilarious. And ever like after set and when she can be. So.
Is there any out there?
No, already. Corinne said that spider though, it was huge.
Like,
I know it was.
It was pretty big. How did you know who was right for each role? Ooh, that's one for us. I think with casting, I was very, very, very particular with who I wanted. We did get a lot of inquiries, a lot. I had to filter through just normal, things. But I think I always follow my gut feeling, and I got a gut feeling with each person that emailed in, auditioned, anything like that. And I think, let me look over there. Okay, who was right for each role? When Scott auditioned, Scott was our first one to come on. He plays Gage Barker. It's right there. But he's the first one that auditioned and the first one we liked out. The thing that got me with him was so much. It's almost like he had like this, I don't know how to say it, like very intense. The eyes. He's got, and this is not an insult to the Scott, but he's got Charles Manson eyes. And it's perfect. It's just, it was perfect. So that is how I felt like he was, he could fight Red Eye and, beat him, and, we'll see what happens. But, Destiny, obviously the role was written for her. So with Clayton.
For that, I just wanted somebody tall and big. I wanted it to be like Victor Crowley versus Daniel Harris, like somebody like freaking huge and somebody that literally looks like a rag doll they can just throw across the woods.
Well, it's funny because we had so many inquiries.
But they were too tiny
for Red Eye,
short,
and they were like, like
as tall as me.
Like Hayden. They were like Hayden, but shorter. And I'm like, did you not read the description? It was so, we came across Clayton through one of our casting calls, and he was, local. He was experienced in theater, which I thought was big because in theater you have to be so out and open with your body motions. And I think, that would, for the killer, would be perfect. For Heather, we actually had someone casted before Heather, and Heather came along, and I was like, we met Heather and Jess at Whorehound Weekend. And so we talked mostly to Jess that night. And later on, I was like, those two are great duos. And I was like, that would be, a strong two women to put in our film. So I contacted Heather, got her to audition. Her audition blew me away.
It was really good.
So obviously it was just like, okay, we're not signed in contracts with this other actor. I think this, this actor portrays the character the way I originally visioned it. And then for Jess, obviously she's Jessica Cameron, so that's that. And then Hayden was, we actually lost one of our actors who was playing.
We had him cast twice before Hayden.
Correct.
Yeah, cast one's lost it. Cast one's lost it. And then
casting process was a bitch, but
Jake, that was the thing.
And that was a lot, vision wise. We wanted someone that could portray a douche. And I'm not saying Hayden's a douche, but Hayden pulls off a douche very well. And Hayden, I contacted through Instagram. As professional as that sounds, it was just like he was following me. He was supporting Red Eye. I was like, saw he was an actor, asked him for some stuff, and so what I was looking into everybody was just passion. That's a lot of things that I was looking for, is passion for the project, passion for the industry, passion for the genre, just passion all around, because not only
where your passion bleeds through.
Correct. Not only is this film about passion, but there's just so much passion behind it and put into it. And that is the number one thing that I looked into everyone, and everybody had it, and everybody had that burning fire in them. Corinne says yes, he does. She's probably assuming or saying that Hayden's a douche, but okay. Kathy Johnson, who was our craft service lady, who helped my mom out with craft services, she asked how the craft service was. So how was that food?
Amazing.
So great.
Okay. All right. Well, well, that one was pretty much answered.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, if you guys want to ask us questions, you can ask us down in the live chat comment section down below. Just, yeah. You guys have anything you guys want to talk about the film? Like,
I know you mentioned the auditions. Is there a place where the fans can go and watch the auditions?
now that was one of the things that we included for the backers. We sent out like special links to them because there was a perk that was like you get exclusive content. So we might end up eventually releasing that soon. But as of right now, there isn't. It's unlisted on YouTube. So, but there soon will be. Probably we'll release it for everybody. It'll be released. We got another question about that. So if anybody missed that, we are planning to premiere it at a festival. So once we get everything locked down with
What time next year is what they're wanting to know.
well, I don't know. It all depends on
Next year sometime.
yeah, festival premiere. Get any more? I'll say hello for Hayden and Heather. They couldn't be with us, but they wish they could, but I had like a list of questions and I totally forgot them. I don't know why I didn't write them down. Let me pull up some. Hang on. Pull up some. I guess some. All right, let's see. So what attracted you guys to the script and in the project and want to be a part of it? Like, I know some of you guys, we contacted you first, but like, what was the thing, without saying anything spoilerish, what attracted you to the project?
That made you like want to do it.
Yes.
Destinie and Tristan, for sure. You guys are such avid, passionate, driven horror fans. To me, I believe that is the future of horror films. I am really excited that I feel like going to a place with technology where if you have a desire to put the effort and work in, that anybody could make a movie. And seeing horror fans kind of start doing that and taking over the genre is really exciting as a horror fan. Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen movies where I'm like, oh, God damn it, it's a good idea, it's a great franchise or whatever. But you could tell somebody who's not a fucking horror fan directed the damn thing because they made like every wrong, stupid thing that you shouldn't do. So I'm really excited to see this phase of horror fans becoming filmmakers, and I think that you guys are at the very top of that list.
Thank you.
Yeah, the script really got me. You know, someone actually recommended me to the casting call that Red Eye had posted, and so I went to it. That's when I emailed you, and then obviously without saying anything, Tristan, you asked me more of a disclaimer question regarding the role, and I was like, "This is fucking weird," and I love it.
Yeah, we got that was fun because with casting Red Eye, that was the biggest challenge. Red Eye and Jake, just because of some of the content that was in the film and that Red Eye would have to do. It was really hard, but Clayton was the one that actually understood why we were doing it, what we wanted to achieve with the scenes, and you know, he did it. So
Do you remember you called me when I was shooting an ending? Because you were working at a point with some people who did not understand it. And you're like, are we going to have to change it? I was like, no, find the people.
yeah. We just got asked that question. If there was any studios that we were considering, you know, to produce and stuff too extreme, like that were scenes. And yes, there were, like Jess just said. I called her and I was like, do I need to tone down the script? Are we doing something wrong? Like, what are we, you know, because nobody would accept the role. Nobody would, and it pushes boundaries, and that's what we try to achieve. We're doing this for real horror fans, not your grandmother or your mom, you know, true, unless they're like really big horror fans, then your grandma and mom, but you know.
I'll be a grandma someday.
Will there be a sequel? Never say
Yes.
never. I mean, I don't know. You can never say never. Probably not. You can't say never though. Like, you know. And then we just answered that one. Were there any? Yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got here. What did you guys think when you saw the teaser for the first time? I know in the like group chat, you guys were like, "I'm speechless." You know, like what? You know, how was your reaction seeing what you guys did this summer put together and like?
I wanted to cry.
Same.
It looked so good. It was awesome. Yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah. Clayton, what was your reaction? Like, what was like going through your mind?
I mean, for me, it just like it kept flashing back to, and I think like in our group message, like Scott said, it's like, oh, I remember that. It's like, oh, that one time shortly after that when that happened, like just personal experience, and then also like obviously knowing it's a teaser trailer, so I knew that I would hardly be in it, if at all any, but being like, oh, there's me. Oh, there's me.
Your hand.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It was a lot of fun. Or like just when I think when it's like Destiny, are you like crawling away and like you briefly see like me walking after you, like stuff like that. It just makes me, I can't wait for it all to be put together. I get like just giddy thinking about it.
Jess, how'd you like your
Excited to see what everyone had done, because I was only on set for such a brief time that for the most part all the trailer stuff was like new. So unlike you guys, I didn't live through it. So it was really fun to see what you guys have done.
Did you like your scene at the end?
I did, although I was like, God damn it, I should have cheated my face like a quarter of an inch.
Oh, of course. Filmmaker talk.
Right. Yeah, I should have cheated, so I didn't. But no, I thought it was really clever. But I liked how it was a nice little bookend.
Yeah.
The trailer, regardless of the fact that it was me, it was just a good bookend for a trailer.
Well, originally he didn't have you at all, and I was like, we need a little bit more Jess. So the editor goes back in. He goes, "It's the blonde girl, right?" I said, "Yes." And so he sends this to me. And, you know, all that intense stuff's going on. And then you just hear Jess and her, you know, voice. Do y'all have a good time or so? You know, and I was like, so oh my God. That's just, it wraps it up perfectly.
Totally, it's great. It's a nice, in the industry, we call that a button. Where you just put a little button, you know, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. No, I thought it was great.
I won. I'd say for me, for the teaser, I was so proud, because you start off with this idea and then you do the script and then you do everything all leading up to it, and then just to like see like what you created, I was just so proud of our baby. So proud.
Corinne said Heather's scream gave me chills. She's
good.
Oh goodness. And one thing that I was dying to do was I got the cast to scream. But as Jess was only there for a short day and we were trying to get all the stuff with her filmed, I forgot to ask Jessica to scream because I wanted to hear Jessica scream in real life. So you're going to have to do that. So make note that you got to scream for me when we see each other next.
Or at the premiere.
Yes, do it. Yes, all of them.
Yeah.
I got Dare to scream at Fantastic Fest, which is a festival I went to last year. And I wasn't going to do it. So like Fantastic Fest, it's like everyone hangs out outside the theater. So it's just like a mob of mostly men. And everyone's talking. It's just like, you know, it's a very loud, it's almost like you're at a concert, you know, and everyone's talking. You can't hear yourself. Like you can barely hear yourself or the person next to you. And I was like, no, I won't do it. And they're like, we'll buy you a drink. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. 2 drinks. Anyways, I forget how many drinks we settled on. But eventually, where I was like, okay, and I just screamed in the middle of this Fantastic Fest outside, and all of this noise, like 200 people talking, everyone just, and you could hear a fucking pin drop, and then I kid you fucking, and Elijah Wood is like 9 feet away from me. He nearly died. He nearly fell over. Very tiny man. And then when I was done, there was like this moment where everyone's like, "You okay?" at me, and I just curtsied, and then everyone started to clap and cheer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, good times. Screaming in public.
Oh, for sure.
But I want to like film a scream cam with me where we just go to like random places in public, and she films it, and I just scream, and then like say, "Oh, spider!"
That'd
You
be
guys
the
should do that.
best.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes.
Do it. That'd be so good.
Right? She's scared she'll get sued, so everyone tweet Dorf and be like, "You will not get sued. Scream cam has to."
You won't
That'd
get
be
sued.
great.
But yeah, we have to hear that in person. Hayden's scream blew me away.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
really
I
good.
mean, men's screams are always, you know, either good or bad, you know. And when I heard him scream for the first time, I was like, yeah, scream queen or scream. What? No,
King.
I can't even say that. I can't even say
Scream
yes.
king.
Yes, she got it. Are you all working together on a new project for the future? I would love to.
Wait, Clayton is. Hello.
Oh yeah. Oops.
Jeez.
That's
I
right,
don't know
Clayton. Do you want to plug your Clayton? You want to do it?
We're in November
Oh yeah,
in a
this is
couple
like
weeks.
official announcement. So.
Well, we didn't announce it.
You've teased about it.
We're gonna do a short my short film called Used. I wrote it, and me and Clayton's gonna be in it,
Yes.
and
Awesome.
Tristan's gonna do cinematography.
Yeah. And we're directing it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously producing it. But it's a great script. I read it and I was like, you know, call me biased or whatever, but you guys just wait. It's in your face. And Scott will be in it.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm so
And
glad.
Hayden. We got the men in there.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, yes. There we go. That is.
There you go, we do. But like for a future film, like a future feature film, I would love to have, you know, the majority of the cast back. It's great working with them. And when you find great actors and a great crew.
You Rob Zombie it.
Yeah, exactly. You want to hold on to them because when you get, like, you know, Jess said before, when you get people that understand, it makes it so much easier. So
It does. And this is my experience: is you find who you work well with and you find who you don't work well with, and then you cast and crew up.
Yeah. Hey Matthew, glad you could join and ask us a question. You're full of them. Let's do it. Let me see what else we got. That one. Oh,
what do you think the audience will love?
Okay, what do you guys think? Obviously, spoiler free without this whole thing. I keep saying that, but what do you guys think the audience will love about this film?
The passion behind it.
And by horror fans.
Yeah. And what were you saying, Scott? Sorry. It's
just basically what Jess said, the passion, because you can tell like it was made by horror fans.
What do you think, Clayton?
Again, when I was reading the script, one of the things I loved so much about it is like as it progresses, like, you know, the line is like pushed a little bit more and more, and then as the movie goes on, it's where you think like, all right, there's no way they're going to take it any further. It's like, oh, yep, they did. Like,
there's a funny thing about that because it's where like I'll write something, then Tristan will read it, and he'll make it go to the next level, and I'm like, no, that's too much. And he does it anyway.
But yeah, so just like it's almost an element of surprise that I think all the viewers are going to be like, when it's done, just be like, yeah.
It's all up in your face, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. But yeah, the whole Destiny thing, what she just said, she will say, well, why don't we do this? And then, you know, she'll write it up, and then I'll be
then
like,
he sends the script back to me after he does his part, and I'm like, what is this?
like, why don't we do this?
No.
Why doesn't, you know, God, I can't say anything, but and Used, that happened. She wrote the script, but, you know, where we're producing it and stuff, she had this idea, and I think you'll know, it's something goes in a mouth, but I'm like, what if it was this? And she was like,
that's disgusting. It's never.
She's like, it's not going in there. We're not doing that. That is too much. And I'm like, but Destiny, that's what people want. People want to feel uncomfortable. People want to, you know? So
it's nasty though.
I like pushing it. And you know, making everything different. And like Clayton just said, when you think that we've pushed it enough, it just keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah.
Agreed.
Let me see if we have any more questions in the live comments. This sounds like a narcissistic answer or question, but how was it like working with us? Like,
We sucked.
It was super
Yeah, it was
lovely,
terrible.
wonderful, with good humans and passionate people, and you're both in spades.
thank you.
And I would tell you if you weren't.
That is what I love about you.
You would know. I have worked with people and they've like on the last day and they're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to work with you again. I was like, that's never gonna happen. I think you're a horrible human being.
Oh my God, I would never do
Bad person, no. Because here's the thing, if we don't tell people when they're being a bad human or they're being an asshole, then how can we expect them to change? You know, like we're hurting them by letting them think it's acceptable, especially on a film set. I think the best thing you can do is say, no, you're being a bad human, you're not being professional, here's everything you did wrong, this is why I don't hire you again. So anyways, I have done that. It doesn't make me popular, but you know, I think it's for the greater good. We need to be honest and upfront. And I don't like the whole ass kissing nature of the film business where it's like everyone's like, oh, I love them, talk behind their back. I don't fucking do that. If I have something to say to you, you're gonna hear it to your face.
Damn.
So, but I also think it's for weight, because when I say you're a great human and you're really wonderful, passionate, talented people, I don't say that to everyone. And I think that I'd rather compliment the few people that deserve it than weaken the compliment for the people that deserve it, you know, by giving. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great. I've worked with some directors who do these things that you call line read. And so like you'll be going through a scene and they'll literally be like, like don't do it like this, and they'll read your line to you, as you know, because that's how they want you to deliver it. And as an actor, I think there's nothing worse than that. It's like I was cast as this role to portray the role, and that's one thing that y'all never did. And like I said earlier when talking about becoming Red Eye, you did give us all a lot of liberties. And there were several times, Tristan, how many times did I ask you, like, is this okay? Like, is this okay?
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to make sure that I was becoming their image of this, you know, this villain that they created. But at the same time, they wanted all of us to make it a little bit of our own as well. And that really goes a long way. And I just said it's gone to the point that obviously I'm working with them again because of that. You know, if I don't want to work with someone again, I just won't. But it was a great experience.
Very
God.
well. Yeah. They knocked it on the head. Yeah, I couldn't say anything different. I mean, it was, yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to wrap it up. I know Jess has to go to a signing, which I wish we could be there because I'm so excited to see that film. Todd Noon's All Through the House. If you guys are into Christmas horror films, definitely go see.
Fun. And if you're in the LA Burbank area, we're gonna be there 2 to 4 at Dark Delicacies.
Do it, guys. It looks
wanna see
like
that.
a great film. I'm so excited to see it. I'm getting it just in time for Halloween, or not Halloween, Christmas. So if there's anything you guys want to say, anything you want to tell the audience, you know, the supporters watching, you guys can do that.
We all encourage you guys to check out all of the Red Eye social media links and to be engaged in the content if you want to see more. Just pay attention, retweet, favorites, all that stuff really helps us all out. And on that, also check out all of us on Facebook and social media. I think this is where we should go down the line and give our social media links.
I was just about to do it. You can go, Jess.
Right? So you can find me on Twitter, Jessica Cameron _. I'm actress Jessica Cameron on Instagram and Jessica Cameron on Facebook. I also have a YouTube, as does my show that I do with Heather Dorf, who is not Scream Queen Stream, to which we just dick around and do random stuff with a horror tone, a lot of horror events and a lot of horror things. And on YouTube and Patreon. Just search Scream Queen Stream. And if you haven't seen our behind the scenes of Red Eye, please do check it out. It's one of my favorite episodes, and it's some of the behind the scenes stuff while filming and after hours.
All right, and how can we find you, Scott?
Yep. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, just under Scott King. I have a Twitter account, but I don't use it much. I'm not gonna lie. So, but on Instagram, I'm under Scott E Fear, and you can follow me on there.
For Twitter and Facebook, it's Clayton Abbott, 2 B's, 2 T's, my last name, and then Instagram, it's Clayton A13. So, yeah, I use Instagram, I think, more than the other two combined, but yeah.
All right.
Okay. My Facebook, just my name, Destiny Orndoff. Instagram, Living Dead Girl _97. And Twitter, I'm pretty sure it's horror gal, like GAL _97. I think that's all I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then my Facebook is just Tristan Clay, and then my Instagram is Tristan Clay, and my Twitter is Tristan Clay, which was an old decision. But and you can find out more information www.derangedminds.com, derangedmindsentertainment.com, sorry. And then all our Red Eye social media.
Twitter's Red Eye _film.
Yes, and then Instagram's Red Eye Film, and then Facebook's just Red Eye.
Facebook.com/Red Eye Movie.
Yes, there we go. We finally got it down. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone who joined us today, asked questions, interacted. We love all you guys. Thank you for supporting. Don't forget, sharing is caring, and the more blood we can share, the more gore we can get out there. So share the teaser. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the teaser trailer. And thank you, Clayton, Jessica, and Scott, and Destiny for all joining us today.
No problem.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Peace.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Bye.